potential delays for the iPhone 12, rumors and concepts for the upcoming iPadOS 15, and is the iPhone 4 still the best phone in 2020? All of this and more on today's episode of The Infinite. If you like note-taking apps, check out MightyNote. I made it because I am a huge note taker and I was not satisfied with any of the existing note-taking apps on Apple devices, so MightyNote is my own stab at note-taking. I'd love for you to check it out and let me know what you think. Okay guys, so we've heard rumors before of the iPhone 12 being delayed. I mean, obviously with the coronavirus pandemic, like this is an unprecedented time. Apple usually releases their phones in September, right? Everybody knows that, the big Apple September event. But every once in a while, there are phones that actually come out later than September. The iPhone X is actually the latest example of this. It didn't come out until early November. So the iPhone 4 was actually the first iPhone to ship in white, and I can't find the meme, which is so frustrating. But there was this hilarious meme that I've never forgotten, and it was the iPhone 4 that came in black, and it was just a white paint bucket, and it was like all out of paint. It's like Apple has temporarily run out of white paint, and for some reason that has always stuck with me. I thought that was so funny, like Apple's run out of white paint. For some reason, that's like one of the funniest things I've ever heard. It's just so funny. So the iPhone 4 was actually announced on June 7th of 2010. The iPhone 4 in white did not come out until April 28th, 2011. So almost a whole year later before the iPhone 4 in white finally came out. I don't really know the story behind this. If you know it, I'd love to hear it. So other than that, the iPhone 12 could be the latest arriving iPhone, potentially with a release date in November. So with that, of course, we're all wondering, well, if the release date for the iPhone 12 is in November, then is there still going to be the Apple September event that we've become so used to? And honestly, the rumors are pretty split on this. Some people say it will be, some people say it will not be in September. It could be in October. To me, I say that it's probably going to be in October, just because the other rumors say that even the base iPhones like the iPhone 12 will be coming out in October, whereas the iPhone 12 Pro would be the one pushed to November. So with those rumors, having a hard time believing that they would announce the iPhones in September and not release any new iPhones until October, even the base models. Apple usually, we're announcing it today, it's available to ship in a week, because then people start ordering that phone right away, right online. And they usually lower the price or deprecate older iPhone models before the one that they just announced. So they would have to deprecate the iPhone 11 for a month or let it live for another month, even though everybody knows the iPhone 12 is coming at the same price. It would be weird. So my guess is that the event will be in October. They'll release the iPhone 12s. They'll say, hey, these are available to start shipping right away. And then the iPhone 12 Pros will be, 2 to 3 weeks later. So that's our news there. And honestly, we haven't heard too many new rumors about the iPhone 12 other than what we've already heard. If you want to learn more about that, check out the other videos that I've done on my channel. I'll leave a link to one of them below so you can get up to date with the latest rumors about the iPhone 12. Okay, next up, the iPad, iPadOS 15. Now you might be thinking, well, what about iPadOS 14 beta? It's not even in public beta yet. And yeah, you're right, but we can dream. So as it stands, or as it will stand in a couple of months, iPadOS 14 will not have widgets on the home screen. It also will not have an app library. Now, widgets on the home screen, to me, that makes a little bit of sense, because the way that the iPad is built is you can have the home screen in portrait or landscape mode. And you can't have the iPhone in landscape mode on the home screen, whereas on the iPad you can. Obviously, you can find a way to do it. I mean, you always have the same number of icons on each screen, portrait or landscape, so based on those icons, I mean, I guess the widgets would just appear in different places. Anyways, of course, that's one of the things included in the iPadOS 15 concept. The other thing is the app library. Now, this is one that I am loving so far in iOS 14. The app library is awesome. I feel like I can download apps and I don't worry about like having to organize them or stress out because I have all these pages of apps. I feel like downloading apps is kind of fun again, where you can download apps. It puts all of the apps that you've recently downloaded together for you in a little folder in the app library. So you can quickly open up that folder at any time, see all of your recently added apps, and that just dynamically updates. So you don't even have to think about it. Oh, it's so nice. Everything else is automatically organized by categories. So the fact that the app library is not on the iPad, I think that personally is a huge disadvantage towards the iPad, especially because having that app library, like I said, makes it more fun to get apps and you don't have to stress about it. And the fact that that stress is still present on the iPad is a problem. Technically, it could still happen. I mean, they're still releasing betas to iOS 14 before it goes public. I mean, there could even be iOS 14.1, 14.2 that brings the app library to the iPad. Craig Federighi said in the keynote,
iPadOS builds on all the amazing features of iOS while adding unique capabilities that deliver a distinct experience for iPad. So those are some of our updates to the iPad experience. And of course, you get the new widgets and all the other great app enhancements from iOS 14.
So the fact that widgets on the home screen and app library aren't on the iPad is kind of weird to me. I don't really understand why he would have said that and then it's not there. It's kind of weird. So I think that it still could come in a future update. Plus the widget picker looks a lot better in this iPadOS 15 concept, so that's really exciting. You also have this quick menu that I really like in the top left corner, kind of like on the Mac when you hit the Apple logo. That would happen when you hit the time date up in the iPad. It shows, you know, these options here. Basically things straight out of system preferences, so that's super nice. Okay, here's the next story. You ready for this? An iPhone 4 just won a photography contest. Let's just say that again. An iPhone 4 just won a photography contest for the best photography shot on iPhone in the year 2020. iPhone 4. So here's the picture he took. Super pretty picture. Honestly, super pretty. And it does look like it could be taken on an iPhone 11 Pro. And so congratulations to this lucky iPhone 4 owner who obviously has a knack for photography, but also bringing out the best of older iPhones. All right, now let's start our speed round, shall we? First up, Face ID is coming to Facebook Messenger. So you'll be able to lock Facebook Messenger with Face ID. And now that this is a thing, it's making me wonder, why isn't this in Messages on iPhone? Messages can be some of your most private things on your iPhone, is what you're saying to other people. So it would be great if every time you opened up the Messages app, you had to unlock your phone with Face ID. I mean, it's super fast. It would just do it in the background basically, right? Because it just scans who's looking at the phone. You might not even notice it, barely. Bring Face ID to Messages on the iPhone. Sign the petition. Next up, again about Face ID. Face ID could potentially start scanning the veins in your head for greater accuracy. So if you have veiny head, this is gonna be a really great patent for you. But I mean, as Face ID can recognize more and more features of your face, it just becomes more and more secure. So that's a really exciting feature. New AirPods Studio patents suggest that the AirPods could be up on your head across the top like that, or you could have them down resting on your neck like you sometimes do with headphones, and it would actually be able to tell which direction they're in. Because along with that, rumor has it that AirPods Studio will have touch controls. So you'll be able to swipe down with 2 fingers, things like that, to access certain menus, things like that within your AirPods Studio. So when they're up over your head like this versus when they're down, you wouldn't have to think, okay, to do a down swipe, now I have to swipe across like this. No, you always just do a down swipe and it knows which direction they're facing, so of course it reacts accordingly. I mean, this is Apple we're talking about. Of course they're gonna do something like that. Next up, Apple has recently pledged carbon neutrality by the year 2030. So basically what that means is that if somebody were to look back at the carbon footprint of humanity on the Earth, it will be basically as if Apple as a company never existed. This is a huge deal for the company. So the Paris Accord, you might have heard about that, but basically from what I understand, that's saying by the year 2050, you know, every country that's signed on will be carbon neutral. But Apple's saying, oh, 2050, like, that's cute. We're going 2030, we will be carbon neutral. So in the next 10 years, Apple has already made huge strides in this. They are 35% more carbon neutral than they were 5 years ago in 2015. So they, you know, are making huge strides, but in 10 years they will be completely carbon neutral. So great for Apple. Check out the website, it's really cool. And new Apple ad, always awesome. Because whenever a new Apple ad comes out, I mean, it's basically like a new Christopher Nolan movie has come out. Speaking of Christopher Nolan, his new movie Tenet has been delayed indefinitely. So basically that's the worst news you're gonna hear on this show. Good news you're gonna hear on this episode is that Taylor Swift dropped her new album. If you like it, let me know down below. You know, another one that you might not have heard of is Tori Kelly is slowly one by one dropping some new songs in her album, so you can check that out too. If you have any music suggestions for me, leave them down below. Okay, last up on the Infinite today, everybody. You remember back tap, where you could tap the back of your phone and certain actions would happen on your phone? Maybe not, because it's brand new to iOS 14. Previously, it was not available on the iPhone 8. Well, in iOS 14 Beta 3, it is on the iPhone 8. So now I have these features where if I double tap the back of my phone, it brings up Notification Center. And then if I triple tap it, it opens up Mighty Note, which is great because I have a shortcut that opens up Mighty Note. So whenever I triple tap it, it opens up Mighty Note so I can take a quick note, something like that. So check that out, back tap. You go to Settings, Accessibility, Touch, back tap. And then you have double tap and triple tap options to do whatever you want. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Have a great week, you guys. If not sooner, then I'll see you back here next Saturday. But I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed because there are some rumors about products dropping on Tuesday. So let's keep our fingers crossed. If they do drop, I'm gonna see you on Tuesday and let's talk all about it. If not, I'll see you on Saturday. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. That helps me out a ton. Have a great week. We'll see you later. Peace out. So the iPhone 10, for example, is the latest example. So the iPhone 12, oh man, the iPhone 10 is the latest example of that.